Namaste. As a scholar, we can see women of India engaged in various stages. As a seeker, as a challenger, as a debater, as well as a student, as teachers, as writers, as well as contemplators. The goddess of education is also a female goddess. This is because knowledge is the basis of creation. Without goddess Saraswati, even Lord Brahma cannot create. In ancient India, women were being imparted higher education, and it was an extremely important aspect because the standard of the society depended on the level of education of the women there. Let us not forget that ancient India consisted of both rishis as well as rishikas. Somewhere down the line, we have forgotten to praise them and misunderstood our culture. In fact, there was a whole group of women scholars who held the title of Brahmavadini, that is, those who had completed their knowledge and had full knowledge of Brahman or the Brahma Vidya. Also, let us not forget that the Vedas, which is considered of high regard, was contributed by both men as well as women equally on the basis of the revelation they got during their contemplation. The Gurukul was also for both men as well as women, although sometimes women were educated in their home premises for various reasons. But there exists many examples of women being taught the knowledge of the Vedas and other sacred texts in the Gurukul and being offered a choice of Grihastha or Sannyasa after their completion. Now let us look at three examples of such brilliant and scholarly women. Maitreyi. The story of Maitreyi is the story of a true seeker which involves an urge to learn, which is the first most role of any scholar. She is said to be the wife of sage Yajnavalkya, lived at around 8th century CE. But there is also other texts that suggest that she wasn't married. But what is undisputed is the fact that she asked many questions to Yajnavalkya, and their high-end debate is recorded in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. When Yajnavalkya takes sannyas after completing his duty as a grihastha, by the time Maitreyi had much knowledge in metaphysics and spent much of her time inquiring about the self and the internal world. When he was about to leave, Yajnavalkya comes to her to ask her permission to leave. That is when Maitreyi demands from him the answers to her question in order to let him go into sannyas. What begins there as a conversation turns out to be one of the most profound dialogues between two highly evolved scholars. As a true seeker, Maitreyi asks questions continuously until she is completely convinced of his answers. The dialogue is about the Atman. It is only after he not only simply answers but absolutely convinces her of his answers that he gets the permission from her to take sannyasa. It is said that after Yajnavalkya leaves, having acquired the higher knowledge, Maitreyi too becomes a sannyasin, contemplating and imparting her knowledge to others. She further writes hymns, and 10 such hymns from the Rig Veda is attributed to Maitreyi. Gargi Vachna. A seeker means to question. The Indian culture is a culture of seekers, meaning our culture is one that promotes us to ask questions because we have believed that only through questioning and challenging the beliefs and the answers given to us will we get to know about the true nature of the self. Gargi was a very learned scholar who had come to King Janaka's yajna. There took place a debate between the scholars, and the only two who were left in the end were Gargi, who had managed to beat everyone in debate, against sage Yajnavalkya, who was said to have known everything. Gargi openly challenged him. She asked him various questions. She was knowledgeable in the Vedas, in the Upanishads, and she began asking questions of the metaphysics and the soul. When he answered them all, she started shooting questions on the universe, the suns, the moons, about the God and about space, etc. Remember that we do not have any telescopes during this time, but Yajnavalkya answered all of those questions. When all questions were answered, she was forced to take up the only subject that was left. She asked, "Who is Brahman?" Here, Yajnavalkya put a stop because she had asked something which cannot be simply answered but requires a certain amount of quest and contemplation with utmost dedication to understand Brahman. Gargi quickly admitted that Yajnavalkya was in fact the most learned scholar there. Thus, Yajnavalkya also set Gargi on a quest to get knowledge of the Brahman, which she does and acquires the title of Brahmavadini thereafter. She also goes on to write a lot of hymns and preach the Brahma Vidya to her disciples. Romasha. Women were given high regard in the Vedic times. Educating and taking care of women was considered as a basic principle of the Sanatana Dharma. Romasha was a Brahmavadini who underwent the Upanayana ceremony, that is the sacred thread ceremony, and completed her Vedic study and even did the Savitri Vachana or the higher education. She is said to be the daughter of Brihaspati. Her husband, King Swanaya, is also said to be a rishi. Numerous hymns from the Samaveda and the 126th hymn of the Rig Veda is said to have authored by her after it was revealed to her while contemplation. She also did many fire sacrifices or yajnas as the male sages do. She is also very known for the fact that she had many disciples and shared her knowledge wide and far. Many texts suggest that she was known for her kind and selfless nature and her sincere devotion to Lord Shiva. There is much less written about her, but her contributions to the Vedic texts and Indian culture is too immense. It is said that she started the important culture of education of women and opposed anybody saying that she was just as divine and at par with any other person. Thus, women scholars of India have contributed immensely to this culture in terms of their writing and preachings and have also made precedents to show us that education of women is in fact the true standard of a civilized society. We pay tribute to these women scholars of India today. Namaste, Jai Hind.
On the 8th day of Navratri, we worship goddess Mahagauri. The word Mahagauri signifies the merger of two words which mean extreme white complexion, which is why she is often compared with the moon. Ma Mahagauri is mounted on a bull. She has 4 hands, 2 of which carry the Trishul and Damaru, while the other 2 carry the Varada Mudra and Abhaya Mudra hand gestures. She is believed to be the goddess of purity and serenity.